speech number 2 for public speaking. I would like to let you guys know about something that we use in the health field every day. This is something that's used for patients that might have a little trouble getting their nutrition. They have some problems with their gastrointestinal system, some people that are on chemotherapy that have a hard time keeping food down. But they need to get their nutrition, especially protein, to help them heal and rebuild tissues and things like that. So I've prepared a demonstration for you. If you'll allow me, I'll go ahead and tell you that, and then I'll let you ask questions when we're done. It's my patient. She's a very good patient. She doesn't fry, she doesn't whine. And I have put in a PICC line. PICC line is a peripheral inserted catheter, central venous catheter. Now, parental, or total parental nutrition, parental coming from the Latin meaning eat vein, means that they're going to receive nutrition through their veins. So they can't eat, they can't have a tube going down their throat to their stomach, whatever's happening. Sometimes they're in a bad car accident, and their GI system is compromised. But they have to have a way to get their nutrition, like I said. So this is one of the places where a PICC line will be inserted. I had it wrapped because kids will play with these little lines here. If you want to come up and zoom up on this. Alright, this little girl, let's just say she has leukemia. And she's having trouble getting her nutrition. So what we have is 3 cords here. Sometimes it's just 2. But for these purposes, it's 3 cords. And this is inserted through her brachial artery. And it goes all the way up into her superior vena cava. That's right above the heart. So one of the main concerns we worry about is infection. Everybody can get an infection, especially being in the hospital. A lot of people will get an infection. But a bad place to get infection is in your heart. So we need to be careful and keep this site nice and clean. As you see, this is going to be a clear or a white bandage at the hospital. And just for these purposes, these are IV tubing. Okay? In this blue tube, she'll be receiving her TPN. It's her nutrition. And it'll be in a regular IV bag, but a lot larger. And it's a recipe that's all her own. They take her blood from the red line, and they test it every 3 days or so. And they said, well, you know what? She's low on albumin, which is your body's indicators for she needs protein. She's low on vitamin B's or potassium. So they go and they make her very own recipe. So when you're working with children especially, you want to tell them something like, we have a special recipe that's just for you. Sometimes the bags are yellow. Sometimes they're orange looking. For this age group, you'd probably see a white bag. It looks like milk because we'd have a lot of fat mixed in. And fat is essential, especially for brain function. And we want them to grow and develop just like they would if they received normal food as well as possible. Now, like I said, there would be a line here, and sometimes there's a line up here, but for these purposes in her arm. And I'm going to wrap it back up for her because you don't want to play with it. But this line here, I left because sometimes if you're receiving certain chemos or treatments or stuff like that, you don't want it going through the same line. And also, if one of these lines, if she was a little older, if she was a teenager, in her young 20s or such, she can start doing her own nutrition. And they even have little backpacks for them. Don't have to be on an IV pole. And this would be a little bit longer so she can reach and hook it up herself without having to reach down to her arm. And they would hook up their TPN, and it runs for about 12 hours a day. One of the things you want to watch with this is, their little GI systems are used to a normal diet. And as you know, you eat, and it comes out the other end. Well, here's the difference with TPN. It's not going to come out the other end. And that muscle that's inside of your body that normally digests your food will start to atrophy, or it'll start to, it won't be strong anymore. So this is not a permanent fix. This is a temporary fix. As you can see, it's nice and secure. It's not bothering her. And there are little plastic baggies they can wear to take a shower and things like that. And it don't hook when Mom and Daddy picks her up. All right, well, that's all I've got to say about it. Are there any questions?
She was infant.
Yeah, let's just say she was an infant. has a baby, a lot of the veins that you would get in a baby would probably be around their head and things like that. And then you just worry about them grabbing a hold to it. So having little bandages on that helps a lot. It also helps the parents, because that's a weird thing to see for parents. But you definitely want to encourage the parents to be active in the care, know how to clean it, know how to use it, and don't be afraid of it. Because if a baby has this, the hope is that they will get better. So you want them involved in that care, and their developmental process will continue.
And how long can you leave a PICC line?
Up to a year. And that's, like I said, because it's a risk of infection. You have an open hole, and it's leading directly to your heart. So you want to leave it up to a year as long as the site hasn't been compromised, it hasn't been pulled out. And those are measured on a daily basis to make sure they haven't been pulled out.
And how could you tell if it was malfunctioning?
If it was malfunctioning, or she wasn't receiving her nutrition, those blood draws. Yeah. And also another thing that can happen is that, like I said, it can come loose from the site. So you would see odd inflammation, just like a pocket of fluid. They wouldn't be urinating. When your body doesn't have fluid, your heart doesn't work correctly. So a lot of things will start going wrong. Those are indicators. And that's another reason that if you're on something like TPN, a lot of times you're in the hospital, but if you are able to go home, your family or your home health nurses have been trained with TPN. Anything else?
You say, how did she get rid of that stuff?
It does not go through her GI system. So basically when we eat, when we take food in through our mouths, it goes to our small intestine. And in our small intestine, that's where it is absorbed into the rest of our body. And when I say absorbed into the rest of our body, it gets into our bloodstream. Because our bloodstream is the highway system that brings it everywhere else. But so because it goes directly into her blood, we are bypassing that. And that's a really good question, because I wouldn't take like a baby formula and put in there. Because these proteins and these fats need to be already broken down to a cellular level so that your body doesn't have to digest them. They just accept it. And it is hard at first. It's not something that just starts, oh, now they can start getting TP and everything's okay. Your body's going to fight it. This is a foreign object. So it's a slow introduction and a slow, withdrawal. You don't just take them off of it directly because your body does adapt.
How much do you give them then? What do you start them at?
Okay, with an infant, it'd be different sizes because they go by weight or even their body surface area. But with an adult, let's say I had a 20-something-year-old who had colitis. And so her intestinal lining is just sloughing off. She's having intestinal bleeding, things like that. So we need to give her GI system a rest. Well, we would have a bag about 2,400 milliliters. Okay? And we don't want to put too much fluid in the system at one time, so we'd run it over 12 hours. So that seems like a lot of fluid, but over 12 hours it's a lot smaller. And a lot of these people, when they go home at night, they go home and they do what they've already done, got ready for the evening, and then they plug it in and they run it through the night. Because it does have some adjustment to your body, and your body has to absorb it. And like I said, it takes 12 hours.